get up at about 6:30, but now I get up at like 8 or even 8:15 sometimes, and that's definitely a lot more sleep that I'm getting.
I just wake up quite early.
Meaning I can wake up so much later.
A part of me is okay with it now that I've gotten so used to it, and I don't really mind it anymore because I know how to cope with it now. But definitely in the beginning, it was really annoying, especially learning maths online is really difficult because seeing the teacher do the equation on the board is very different to them talking through it on a slide. And that's something I prefer to do in real life. But a lot of my other subjects, they're pretty okay with being taught online. But I would appreciate more person-to-person teacher-student contact.
I think, yes, that's one of the toughest because I'm not only doing maths, I'm also doing ad maths. So having a few tricky concepts here and there, having to learn them online and not just having a teacher like one call away, you just go to them and I don't understand this.
Online school, I mean, although it is the best thing that we can do right now, but like you do miss like meeting your friends, you do miss like playing football, playing basketball with your friends, or even like the school events like edu tours is a big thing out there. And, like other school events like fetes or like sports events are not there. So just the academic side is what's left of school. So it's kind of more boring than it was before.
You know, we have so many classes, you're constantly staring at your screen, and then you'll have homework, which will be an assignment that you have to type out and email to someone. And then after that, you'll take a break. But then what exactly will you do on your break? You'll basically just be on your phone or watching TV. I didn't even realize that my screen time had gone up so much. So I do try to take a few breaks here and there.
Because online school somehow just gives way more homework than it should. But I have, I've been reading a little bit more, trying out new types of books, and drawing more and things like that, which is just the stuff that I usually didn't have time to do because of homework. And now that online school lets me be at home, I can still like doodle in between classes and stuff, which is fun.
We already had all those friends and they'd see them online, but then I think when you go to school, there's also like the social aspect of like you have lunch break and like, free blocks where you just get to chill with your friends, like hang out and have fun. And I think at college, at least when we go, it'll be a closed environment, so we can still get that because we'll be living together. But then Shanyu and Radha, it's like their friends, they don't get to see them at all because you're not allowed to. Like obviously that's a very important part. But
going back to school, hopefully that will happen because I guess there's a big difference from learning in front of a computer and then learning in a large classroom. I guess with a large classroom, you can interact with both your friends and your teachers. And you just get that better sense of motivation because you're sitting in a classroom, you feel motivated to work. And I personally really like that feeling, and that's how I used to get work done. But now I'm sitting at home in front of a computer, it's like my head is telling me what point is there to work. Why don't you just watch YouTube? Why don't you do something else? I don't really get motivated to work anymore.
Interesting way of teaching, and it's also a safer way of teaching. So one thing that I think is not good about it is the easy ways of cheating in tests. From my own friends and what they told me is that because you can be given a test paper at home, but your parents will be around all 24/7, so they can't keep an eye on you, and your door is shut, so you can easily just go on the computer, turn your camera off, turn the voice thing off, and just search up the answer and then give a star answer like that. That may change. It may be like online lessons for certain days of the week and for certain amount of periods, and not during like exam season or tests or whatever. It would be like that, I think. But I do think that it's going to happen where there will be some days in the week where students will have to do online classes because it's...
I would say the hardest thing for maths online is asking questions. Because on Zoom, the whole class is listening in to you, so you don't want to be asking too many questions and wasting everybody's time. But then also you want a step-by-step answer, and then you have so many questions in maths because every question is a new thing. And it's not like, and for math, when you ask a question, you need like a word solution, you need to know the steps. It's not like a verbal answer. So that was the hardest part, like getting your questions answered.
for me, I think even physics or subjects where you have like diagrams to draw, and then when you, for example, they're in the past paper, but when it goes to checking the mark scheme, there's no proper diagram shown, and
you're kind of unsure as to if you're right or wrong. And it's really difficult to check with your teacher because you just end up sharing your screen, but you cannot still tell if it's accurate drawing or not. So I think for physics, that was one hard one. And then another difficulty for many students, surprisingly, they are not able to attend their online PE because suddenly in online PE, the internet just does not work.
It's been okay. I mean, I'm in the higher level math in my grade.
Yeah.
And it is really hard, and especially during this time, it's gotten a lot harder to study, to do work.
I think a lot of the challenges faced was not specific to subjects, but was specific to the kind of content we were doing. Like some teachers would go really fast in some places, some of the content was super heavy, so we need to spend a lot of time looking over it independently afterwards. I would like to bring it back to the thing I said about focus as well. When you're not focused during lessons, you have a lot more work to do afterwards to catch up.
So for CAS, which is something that we have to do for the IB, when we did a few online sessions where they got in a yoga instructor and she taught us that, because you're spending so much time looking at your screens, she taught us exercises that we can do for our eyes and for our head and for pressure points that we should and she even taught us a few yoga poses to reduce stress, and I think those really help because sometimes I do them in between classes and it takes the burden off of your eyes and your head so much because they do really stuff.
After things ease up, I feel like for the most part schools will go back to doing in-person school because I know for a fact that my teachers have at least complained about this online school and they don't prefer it. There are a lot of students that have now been doing badly, and cheating is very common as well with online school, which is unfortunate because then the students that care and are honest with their work are now at positions where it's tough for them. So obviously that's not good. So I don't think it's here to stay, but I do think that snow days, which were super nice to have over here, those days are going to be gone.